We'll talk about something we don't often talk about here at ChapterSkip, but it kind of moulds into movie reviews and trailer reviews and stuff, but we don't talk about TV series quite a lot. You mentioned earlier you finished Breaking Bad. Thoughts?
Excellent. Absolutely loved it. When did I finish that? Last week, I think, or Tuesday or Wednesday. And then my brother-in-law, I saw him at the weekend, and he'd finished the final episode that day, so they then get to us and discuss it.
Yeah.
And a mate of mine at work as well, he just finished it the other day as well, so we could all been sitting and talking about how good it was. I mean, I'm not going to spoil it, because there's probably lots of people out there that still haven't seen it, but if you haven't, just go and watch it, because it is really, really good.
Yeah, if this is not an advert, we're not sponsored, but
No.
if Netflix, anyone in the UK, if you haven't signed up for Netflix, go on there, sign up for a month, just rinse through Breaking Bad, everything's on there, all 5 seasons, all the episodes you could ever need, and then just, get rid of it. You can watch everything for free, and, this is not an advert. I'm signed up for Netflix because I get a lot out of it, and I like to just rinse through TV shows and movies and at my own leisure. But yeah, if you haven't signed up for it, it does sound like an advert now, doesn't it?
Hi.
Hi, I'm Sean from ChapterSkip, and I support Netflix so I can watch Breaking Bad.
Just for that reason.
AMC's Breaking Bad. Anyway.
The problem with it for me, though, is I don't know if I'd go back and watch it again. Certainly not in the near future. I may well, 5 years down the line. But now that it's done and dusted, I don't want to start... I couldn't sit and start watching it all over again.
Yeah. For me, I finished it a while ago, and I've been into it for quite a while, and a lot of it feels like what's the word? Like, unfinished. Not unfinished in a story standpoint, but for me, because I've watched it broken up over so many years, I think I need to have, sometime soon, just sit down, maybe for a weekend or longer, and just sit there, episode 1, season 1, and just watch them back to back, and then just go through the whole ride again. Because I've got friends watching it, I got my parents watching it, I signed them up on Xbox downstairs just so I could put Netflix on there.
Shout out for Microsoft.
Yeah, this is not an advert. Anyway, and I put them on my Netflix account. I said,
But if they want to send us a free Xbox One,
do it. Get in contact.
No,
yeah,
it's great.
Anyway, I signed them up and I just said, right, I know you like watching Game of Thrones, cool parents, and they like
Game
watching
of Thrones is awesome.
yeah,
Mate.
they like watching stuff like that, and I was like, you need to watch Breaking Bad. It's something that you need to watch. And they're like, oh, how do I do it? Is it on DVD? I was like, yeah, it's probably quite expensive on DVD, but I've got Netflix and we can put it on the Xbox and you can watch it down here and you can just watch it and watch it and watch it and watch it and watch it. And every now and again, I'll creep downstairs because I can see from my account what they're watching. So I'll creep, what do you think? They're like, oh my God, it's brutal, or oh my God, something else has happened. Oh, I'm just so tense. I'm like, yes, you get it. You get Breaking Bad. So yeah, I will go back and I will revisit it.
I think it's because I'd rather marathon a series. I think rather than because there's that. Sometimes you get that point where you're like, I can't wait a week. Seriously, you got to make me wake. Look. God, that wasn't me. I just mumbling. Where's my coffee?
Have some tea.
Where's my coffee?
Have some tea.
They're supposed to be making a remake, spin-off. Sorry,
Oh, the Better Call Saul.
Yeah, Better Call Saul. Yeah.
I'd like to see Badger and Skinny P make an appearance in that.
I don't know what direction they're gonna go in, but Bob Odenkirk is a really funny character.
Yeah.
Saul Goodman is a really great character, but I don't know how far they can take him.
Yeah.
There is leeway there because he's a dodgy lawyer. Whether it's going to start off where he started, almost like a prequel to Breaking Bad, and they'll go up to where he met Walter White.
That'd be a good idea.
Will it just be after what happened at the end? Will it pick up from where Saul is? Whether he, what he?
Because I think
doing?
Saul was the only real loose thread for me at the end of.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say what happened. It was that kind of he was going to go away, and then Walter kind of said, "No, I don't want you to go away," and it didn't really. We don't know 100% what happened to him.
Yeah, that's what they're going to.
Maybe that's what they was doing.
So you don't know if did he go? Did he stay?
Yeah, what's he doing?
I've heard people
Whereas
talk
everyone else
about
kind
it.
of got tied up.
I think the general thing is people would probably like to see, Saul before Walter, and then go up to that point where they meet, and then that could almost be like a, sort of a tie-in / prequel to Breaking Bad. So you could be like, oh, that's how Saul got the way he is.
With more Huel.
Yeah, more Huel. Yeah, what the hell happened? No, spoiler alert. What the fuck happened to Huel?
He probably just fell asleep.
He was just in that room. He probably could have lasted there for a couple of weeks. He was a big old fella.
He'll be okay.
Anyway, I digress.
Although you mentioned Game of Thrones, have you guys actually watched that yet?
I've not.
You
No.
should. It's absolutely awesome.
But it's one of those things where it's like, I can go on and on and on about Breaking Bad and how good it is, and people will just go, I can't really be bothered. And I'm the same way. People are like, Game of Thrones is amazing. You know, there's sex, there's violence, there's great stories, there's people getting chopped, you know, there's main characters, you know, and all this stuff going on. And I'm just like, can't be bothered. I'm not into that whole Middle-earth thing, but like, it's amazing.
But
yeah.
See, my wife's the same way. She won't watch, say, Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit. She doesn't like that old-fashioned, oldie-worldy speak. But there's less of that in Game of Thrones. It's more accessible. Apart from, it's easier to marathon because the gap between seasons, they will start talking about all these characters, and you've been so long between watching it, and you're thinking, who the fuck are they talking about? I had this discussion at work when someone mentioned a character and was like, who the hell's Stannis Baratheon? I'm like, oh, he's the king. No, wait, is he the king's brother? Shit, you know what? I can't remember myself who he is.
Oh, just with names
There's
like that, I can't be
so
bothered
many
with
characters and...
I want normal names like Jesse,
But when
Walter, not Stannis
Yeah,
Baratheon.
Skylar. That's normal.
Marie, Hank, Skinny Pete,
Skinny Pete.
Badger.
The Badger's England's most fearsome predator. But no, it is a really good series. I mean, you've heard of the Red Wedding episode, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
And it was... I was sitting there watching, unfortunately on my own, the family had gone out, and I was sitting there and I was literally shouting and swearing at the television because it was like, what the fuck? You can't do this. And what, really? Oh my God. And I was so into it. But then again, you see that? And unlike Breaking Bad, I think that's a series that I could quite easily now just go back and start watching from the first episode again, ready to catch up, because Series 4 starts in March, I believe.
I think eventually I'm probably going to be one of the people I kind of coaxed onto Breaking Bad. Like, I think people waited for it to end and then they could like marathon the whole thing. I think when Game of Thrones ends, I'll probably will just be like, I'll just marathon the whole thing and just watch it all in one, over a weekend or however long.
I think I will watch it weekly when it comes out, because now I'm so far into it, I'm so into the series, it's like, I can't just now wait another, however many months for it to finish.
Right, you finished Breaking Bad, you're waiting for Game of Thrones to happen. What are you into now?
Well, I'm torn between. I'm waiting for the second series of Banshee to air, because that's now on episode 6, I think, at this time in the States, which is a really good show. It's only just had one season so far, and I recommend that one. That's really good, but it hasn't yet aired. It hasn't shown yet here in the UK. So currently, I got roped into. Well, not roped into. I was recommended Spartacus. Okay. So I started that Wednesday, and I finished the first season on Sunday. Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Right.
Really
okay.
good.
Then I've never heard or seen Spartacus. Sell it to me. Sell it to the people, the lovely people listening.
There's violence, nudity, and bad language in a Roman gladiatorial style.
Is there a general outline? Is it kind of here's a guy? Without sort of spoiling anything.
It was
like you can describe Breaking Bad, can't you?
There's a guy who helps. He's in Thrace, wherever the hell that was. Somewhere other
somewhere free.
I just thought you just messed up the word there.
He lived in another country. They've gone to join the Romans to help get rid of these guys that have been like attacking his town. And then at some point the Romans decide, oh, actually, we're not going to do that. We want you to go somewhere else. Obviously, they're all pissed off, like, fuck you, Romans. We're not doing that. We're going to go back home. Gets home. His home gets fucked over. His wife gets kidnapped. He gets put into slavery and sold into a gladiatorial...
Was it Gladiator?
No, because there's no Russell Crowe, fortunately. No, I'm not a Gladiator fan, but Spartacus, it's got it all. And if you like, it's a bit of a 300 kind of style to it, especially the combat. So there's a mixture of prosthetic blood and CGI, really over the top, but it's kind of to do it in that arty style. But there's also lashings of bad language and full frontal nudity. So
can't argue with that.
But it is really good. I mean, I marathoned that first season in like 3 or 4 days. And I'm now ready. Well, before season 2, you have to then go to another season that was Gods of the Arena, because they had to do a prequel because the lead actor unfortunately passed away. But I definitely recommend that. I'm having a little pause at the moment, but I know as soon as I start watching it, I'm just going to be hooked and sit and rinse through the whole thing in a matter of days again.
Yeah, I like that about series, like over movies sometimes. Like you can watch an hour and a half movie and then it's over, and sometimes you want more. Sometimes you want to go in depth for certain characters, and with series you can like really go into it, especially if you can marathon it like we have been doing. So you're recommending Spartacus.
Yes,
Joe, what you on to now? What's your kick?
I'm watching the second half of I'm trying to think what season we're on at the minute on that Walking Dead. Yeah, season 4.
They can't see that.
I can't say that I've held up some fingers for you to count.
It's not 2.
I wasn't going to say it because I might give away and I knew what you were mumbling about.
No, I just couldn't remember the So anyway, I'm on the second half of season 4 of The Walking Dead, and I'm enjoying that. It's a bit slow paced at the minute, but it's setting up some, because like if you've watched the first half of season 4, everybody ended up for 4 reasons. Like, if you haven't seen it, I don't want to give too much away, but everybody ended up being separated. So they're developing the stories and where are they now and what's happening and that, and it's looking quite good. It's going quite good, you know. And
So
also
I've started watching it, but I've kind of fell out of favour with it. I think I've ruined it in a way by reading the comics.
yeah.
And they're so much better, and the pacing is better.
And the second series.
Oh
doesn't-
God, no, don't mention
the second series doesn't do it no favours.
There's like 12, 13 episodes at that
In
fucking
a barn.
farm.
In a barn.
Yeah.
In a
Whereas in the
farm.
comic, like 2 or 3 issues. They could have done it in 2 or 3
Yeah.
episodes and moved on. The same with the current bit, the stuff at the prison.
I heard they had
God,
budget
that's so
cuts or
overdrawn
something.
now.
Budget cuts or something, that's why they did it. But they could have still, again, they could have at least done
We've got
something.
$10
a bit
million
better.
and we got one bar.
Unless their
and a
budget
crap
cut-
ton of zombies. What do we do?
They had a cut or
If their
something.
budget cut
There's some
meant that
reason,
the,
I don't know fully what it was.
What do you got? The location scout. They couldn't pay him, so that's why they stayed at the freaking farm. But otherwise,
Wherever I throw this rock, that's what we're going to film, alright? Okay. Oh, look where it's landed.
I can't bring myself to watch it anymore
Yeah.
because it's kind of just fizzled out for me.
Yeah.
But I think I have spoiled it for myself by reading
Yeah.
the comics and thinking, my God, these are amazing.
Yeah.
Why the hell wasn't the series like that?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's nowhere and it never will be as good as Breaking Bad for me, but I am really enjoying it. And hopefully we'll see where it goes with it. It might be absolutely terrible
to give
when
it another
it's
go.
finished this season, but we'll see.
See, season 3 for me started really well, and then the second half you're just kind of like, yeah, you've done nothing, and that kind of finished it for me.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. I haven't watched Walking Dead. I know it's about zombies or walkers, as they're called, and I've watched things and heard people talk about what it's about, and people will say about the dreaded season 2 and kind of that thing, and it sort of puts me off. But I think it's going to be another one of those. I will probably end up watching it, but it'll be a Game of Thrones one. I'll wait for it to finish, and I'll wait to kind of hear. It sounds a bit cynical, but I'll wait to hear what people say about it, and if people go, "It's brilliant," then I'll probably go and watch it. You know.
I'd give Banshee a shot though, because that's only 1 season so far. Quickly before the second season starts.
Can I tell you something, Mark?
Go on.
I recently finished watching some of it, and then I put on the first episode of Banshee. I watched about 10 minutes and got bored and turned it off.
There's that big fight in the bar.
I don't even know if I got up to that.
What? That's really good.
I probably will watch it, but I think it was one of them moments where I was like, oh, I've got a few minutes to
It's
spare, and I
really
put
good.
it on, and then something happened, and I just never put it on again.
It's extremely good, and I can't remember the lead actor's name, and I apologise to him in the unlikely event he hears this. But my wife is so happy because she can't, mind you, she fancies everyone on telly, so she's going to hate me.
Is that
for
why
this,
you
but-
come on ChapterSkip?
Yeah,
so you say,
yeah. So I'm like I'm on
fancy you
telly,
again?
so you can now fancy me and Idris Elba and that guy from Banshee. She was so chuffed that she got a tweet from him because she was asking about when's it out in the UK. But I think his answer was no. Not sure. But it is. I recommend it if you get the opportunity to sit and then give it a go. It is really good, and there's some clever little things with it. It's one of those you need to watch after the credits. They put a tiny little 30-second piece, which just doesn't give you a lot away, but just there's a little hint into the character's background, which is a nice little touch.
Also, I'm watching Dexter, and that started off really, really well, and there's 8 seasons of that, and towards the end, I've got 2 episodes left, and it's not like Breaking Bad, it don't hold my attention like when I was like, oh, where's this going, what's going to happen next? It's losing it a bit, and I'm watching it, I'm just like, I have to keep remembering what's happening. Oh, who's this person? What's that about? Oh,
So
right.
the first season, not quite like that, but
It was really good. The first season was
brought myself
brilliant,
to watch anymore.
and it is a good program. But yeah, I don't know. It's
That's
just,
the
I'm sort of-
thing.
yeah.
Now that that's finished, I can kind of look at it as a whole and hear what people say about
Yeah.
it. Like I said, it's very cynical, and people are going, "Yeah, I liked it," but it kind of fizzled out towards the end, and the
Yeah.
ending was very. Yeah, it's
I mean,
brilliant.
I'm- yeah,
it
I'm
was
not-
shit.
yeah.
A lot of people were saying.
I
I
ain't
haven't
got to
seen
the
it.
end,
You haven't
no, I
seen it
ain't got
yet.
to the end, no.
And it's one of them things that's like, yeah, that kind of goes to the bottom. You know, I've got Game of Thrones, I've got Walking Dead, I've got Dexter, I've got a few other things, but things kind of go shuffled to the bottom.
Yeah.
Don't have priority. I've got Luther in there, I've got The Wire, and everything. You know, certain things are going on top of it. And
I've
I'm
heard
kind of
Wise
thinking
good,
after
I've heard
Spartacus
that's
I
good.
might go for Sons of Anarchy, although that's not actually finished, so I'm going to catch up with it. But
Yeah, I've heard that's supposed to be good.
Good things about it.
I'm going to delve back into nostalgia and watch Firefly again, because as everyone knows, that's fucking awesome and they shouldn't have cancelled it. That's enough of that.
24 is supposed to be good. Prison Break.
Yeah, I've heard good
Yeah,
things about
yeah.
those.
24.
There
It's 24, isn't it?
something
Yeah.
else. No, oh,
Yeah,
no.
25 hours in a day.
Although, can I mention an upcoming series?
Well, right, what we'll do...
right, okay.
You mentioned what
I
you're
want
into.
to. I want to know what you're into.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
oh
gonna
yeah,
say-
sorry Sean.
Well, it was released on Valentine's Day, which I believe was Thursday on Netflix. not an advert. House of Cards. Anybody heard of or wanted
I know what
to
you
invest
mean.
in?
I've heard
Seen it
of
on
but I've not
Netflix,
took any
but I haven't
notice
seen
of
it. I've
It's a
seen it
Netflix
advertised.
original, and it's got Kevin Spacey and a couple of others.
Right.
And it's, I don't know how to describe it. I don't think I'll be able to sell it because I'm not really sure of it myself. It's very American politics based, and it's about sort of like lobbyists, and it's Kevin Spacey's rise to the top, and his character's very, very interesting, but it kind of I get lost quite a lot in it because I don't understand a lot of what's going on, what this is in the grand scheme of, American politics. What does he do? Why is he trying to do this? Why is he lobbying for this vote? Because I don't really understand it that much. I've got a faint grasp of what happens in American politics, but like the way it's shot and the general tone and the feel of it and the camera work is like amazing. Like for what you'd think Netflix could kind of come up with, you think, they're a little internet thing. They could probably make a good series or whatever. But this is like, it's really, really well done. It easily looks like a movie, feels like a movie, but it's got that kind of episodic thing. What happens, and things happen at the end, and you're like, what happens on the next one?
I must see the next
one.
one.
And the thing is, with it being on Netflix, they don't kind of tease you with that. They just go, right, it's released. Here's 13 episodes. Go and watch it. So it got released on the 14th. I finished it last night. It's that kind of thing where I just had to watch it all, and I thoroughly recommend that. But it's quite difficult at times.
Although to show that we're not all about Netflix, that doesn't really interest me. It's the political side.
No, I
of it,
can't
think.
imagine it would.
But to go away from Netflix, as well, to Amazon series, they did Vikings, which was only about 6 episodes. Quite enjoyed that. That was not a bad little. It could have been a bit more with the graphical and the violence and the nudity and so on, but yeah, it was not a bad little series or first season. I think there's a second one on the way soon. That was quite good.
Right, Spartacus, Walking Dead / Dexter. I've got House of Cards, up and coming series or series that you might want to get into or have maybe started. Joe, start with you this time. We'll leave yours to the end, Mike.
Come on.
I know you're bursting together.
Yeah, there's one special.
Got anything you think you might delve into next when you finish the...
like Max said, Sons of Anarchy. I'd like to check that out, which I would. Banshee says quite good. I'd like to give that a go and see what my thoughts on it, sort of thing.
But you can get more than 10 minutes in.
Yeah, see if I can do more than 10 minutes. And yeah, that's my ideas. I've heard some good things about Sons of Anarchy, so yeah, we'll see what that's me basically. Yeah.
My lists are, finished Breaking Bad, finished House of Cards, finished House, which I really like. It's very different from other things.
I've heard that's good, yeah.
And I've just heard of a new series. I don't know how new it is, but it's called True Detective. Now it's got Woody Harrelson in it and Matthew McConaughey, and it's very sort of. Don't quote me on this, but it's got a very sort of 70s kind of noir feel to it. It's set in like Louisiana, and I watched a little sort of behind the scenes making of it, and I think the director's got some really good ideas. He's shooting it on 35mm. Which not many people do nowadays because everything's digital. So it's going to have that nice sort of grainy feel to it. And they released a 6-minute one-shot clip of one of the episodes, and that looked fantastic. It was just one shot, no cuts or anything like that. And it just looked really great, and I really like Matthew McConaughey. Woody Harrelson's amazing, so I think that might be something that I'll probably get into next. But then there's a few others that I mentioned. Maybe Walking Dead, maybe Game of Thrones. Maybe Luther, maybe The Wire, and amongst all the other ones, Sons of Anarchy, maybe. But I like to be individual and probably go my own way. It's like, you're watching that? Nah, I'm going to watch that. Oh, you're watching that? Nah, I'm going to watch something else.
New Mac.
Right. We've built up to it. We've built up to it, the big one.
The one that I cannot wait to see, if they hopefully do it properly, will be Preacher. Because it is probably... No, there's no probably. It is my all-time favourite comic book ever.
Right, before we go on about how much of a fanboy you are, can you give us a quick overview of what Preacher is and might be?
Okay, God has gone into hiding after a being that shouldn't have existed was created after an angel fucked a demon. I nearly said a devil.
A devil.
A demon has sex with an angel, and this being is created, and it's almost as powerful as God himself. God is scared of it. The being gets imprisoned. He goes on the run and hides. The being escapes from its prison in heaven, and it merges with a down-and-out southern preacher, and the power that he gains is basically known as like the word of God, where he can use a commanding voice to basically tell people to do whatever he wants. But the angels obviously aren't happy with this, so they send a resurrected cowboy after him, known as the Saint of Killers, who's an old like Clint Eastwood type. His aim never misses, his guns never run out of bullets, and he's unkillable. He actually killed Satan in one of the spin-off comics, so that's what a badass he is. You've got a religious sect that are trying to keep the Jesus bloodline pure, but obviously that's inbreeding. That's we won't go into what. But
there's a little side note.
You've got a kid. There's a character in it called Arseface. You got there's a guy called Jesus Desard who fucked an armadillo. It's proper full. I mean, the preacher's best mate's his girlfriend's a hitman or hitwoman, I guess, and his best mate's an Irish vampire. But it's gonna have to be proper, full on, out there, no holds barred, because that's what made the comic so good.
But do you think it's been taken on by AMC?
Yeah.
You know, with the work they've done on The Walking Dead with their prosthetics and I haven't seen it, but I'm assuming it's gory. No.
Yeah. Oh no, it's got some. Yeah. I mean, K&B. Oh, Greg Nicotero.
Yeah, of course.
So,
yeah, Greg Nicotero, and like Breaking Bad was AMC,
Yeah.
which had probably not. We wouldn't say gore, but there's a lot of sort of like gratuitous violence in it and a lot of sort of harsh themes. Do you reckon they're the people to do it?
If they stick to the source material and don't wander too far, like they have done. I mean, so the audience is mixed, I think, with Walking Dead, because some people are like, yes, I like that it's gone something different, I don't know what's going to happen. Whereas I've kind of gone straight too far from the source material and got a little bit lost in there somewhere, which I think is why it's sort of fell out of my favour. But with this, I think you need to stick directly with the original comic, but...
Well, I mean, just the way you described it there, the way you said, like, there's somebody more powerful than God, I was thinking, that sounds good already.
To give you a hint of his powers, obviously, with great power comes great responsibility. And when he uses the voice to tell someone, go fuck yourself, and that person then removes their own penis and jams up their own ass, there's issues to him.
And I see it in our little notes, you've got a little name jotted down there as who's going to be playing the preacher. Reckon he's going to be the man for the job?
Did I make a note of
Mr. Rogan?
No, he's going to be producing it. Apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
Because he's basically a fanboy and he's tied into producers.
So he's not going to be actually
They've got a pilot in the works, so it's all going to boil down on that. But it's something that I think fans of the comic have been waiting for ages. There was talk of a movie, that kind of fizzled out. There was talk of a series a little while back and that kind of disappeared. I don't know who they'd cast now though, because in my mind I had the ideal cast, but now it's so many years since I read the comic and thought who would be perfect for these roles. I don't know where it's going.
So who did you have?
James Woods would have been the preacher.
James Woods.
You would have had Clint Eastwood as the Saint of Killers. Mind you, not exactly. There's kind of a ghost of John Wayne in it as well. So it's anyway. But
nowadays,
I don't know. I honestly don't know who would. It's been a while since I've read the comic.
So what kind of character is preacher? Is he very talkative? Is he kind of deadly and silent?
He's a southern boy.
Right.
You got a southern. Take no shit.
Yeah.
He's down and out because basically there's stuff of the plot I'm not going to give away, but he was kind of forced by his family to become a preacher, and he's stuck in this dead end town and he absolutely hates it, and he's now become a raging alcoholic. It's I don't know. But the look of the characters to me originally was like, James Woods. James Woods would have been perfect for that, but now with the age difference, I guess, not to say he's getting on a bit, but I don't know if he'd be Jesse Custer's, who's the preacher, is a younger guy, so I don't know. It's a tough one to cast. I mean, who's going to play Arseface?
Does he have an arse for a face?
I don't want to give too much. Slight spoiler, nothing major plot related. He basically he was a big fan of Nirvana. When Kurt Cobain shot himself, he did it as well. And if you remember, there was a guy who done that. There was an Ozzy Osbourne song called Suicide Solution.
Yeah.
Some numpty listened to it, shot himself, but he didn't. He just blew his chin out.
Yeah.
They stitched his face back on. That's what happened with this guy. The Irish vampire sees him running because he had a family tragedy involving the severed penis I mentioned. And this guy's running out like, ah! And he looks at him and goes, that bloke's got a face like an arse, but in an Irish accent, which I'm not going to do. Yeah. And then henceforth he's known as Arseface.
Excellent. Well, if this goes ahead, you've sold it to me. I think I'll be checking it out.
I haven't sold it enough. It is absolutely amazing. There's so many weird and wonderful and fucked up characters.
That's what you want though.
Yeah. But I've never finished the comic book, which is because I think it was around 70 odd issues, and I only got about halfway through, and then it was one of those things where I don't know why I stopped buying comics. It must have been a money thing. I just stopped going because we don't have any comic book stores around here. Unfortunately, we live in a tiny little little village, and it was a case of having to get to the nearest train station to get over to the city of Cambridge to get into Forbidden Planet to buy my comics, and that kind of stopped happening, and I stopped getting it. And I need to collect. I want to get all the collected graphic novels to catch up with it, which I really want to do before the series comes out, because I just really, really enjoyed it.
Right, I think it's come to a natural end. Last but not least, we should probably talk about up-and-coming movies that we're excited about. We will be, obviously, bringing out movie reviews and trailer reviews, and that'll kind of tie in with what we're getting excited for. But I see you've jotted down a couple of things here that you're looking forward to this year.
So let's start with the main one that's at the front there.
Well, you've been going on about it. We didn't manage to do a trailer review for it because we're trying to keep up to date.
Well, it was
with
just
by
a
the time
teaser
it came
as well,
out, yeah, we were a little bit late on it. But go on, hit me with it.
The Godzilla trailer.
Tracer!
Oh my god! Ah! The Godzilla trailer was the greatest goddamn thing ever. It showed you hardly anything, and I sat there thinking, okay, yeah, what's happening? And then the goddamn roar at the end. But hair stood up on my arms, and I'm like, yes, this is fucking perfect. And everyone I know who I've spoke to who is a Godzilla fan, they've all had the same reaction of like, oh my god, that roar at the end, it was spot on.
Right, I'm going to play devil's advocate right
Boo.
now. Godzilla remake?
It's no. You see, that's the thing, because they've kind of. I wouldn't call it a remake. Because the original, even in Japan, they've done Godzilla. They've done say 5 or 6 films. They've ended it with a big monsters brawl, and then it ended, and then someone's gone, oh, let's reboot Godzilla again. Right. So they've kind of done a big ending, give it a few years, and gone, you know what? We miss Godzilla, let's bring him back. And
so it's the kind of case that's been done so many times that it can't be considered a remake because it's such an established thing. There's so many movies. It's like, well,
it's a weird thing with Godzilla chronology, because then they've kind of done this one that's probably ended. I can't remember what the first one was. It might have been Destroy All Monsters where it finished, and then when they've rebooted him, it's kind of gone. Yeah, ignore that stuff that happened before. We're kind of picking up from new and carrying on with it, and they've done that at least 3 times now.
Would you say it's almost akin to, you got the 80s Batman, Batman Returns, etc. Then you've got the Nolan, Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises, and now we're going to get Batman vs Superman. It's like, it's the same thing. It's technically not a remake because they're different stories told, essentially.
Well, I guess with Batman you're based on a comic book, so you've kind of can get away with the remake thing of that, whereas Godzilla just is what he is. But
just a legend, I suppose. Just an entity of its own.
King Kong was blatantly a remake.
Right.
Godzilla is, I don't know, I kind of consider it, alright. If you want to call it a remake. This
Mark likes a remake!
I haven't watched it yet though. But then again, I've forgotten the guy's name, the guy who done Monsters, which I thought was a really cool film.
Yeah.
And he'd done all that himself with the effects. I think he'd used Adobe After Effects, which was like a phenomenal task to do, how good it looked. I mean, if he's done the effects, I guess, for this one, but that little teaser trailer was just blew my mind.
Yeah, it did.
And my pants.
Did look really good. Yeah, got to admit. And
that is my highlight, I think, for this year. It's the one I really, really want to. I might even do the IMAX thing. I never managed it with Pacific Rim, but this time, oh goddamn, yeah, watching Godzilla on an enormous screen. Yeah,
excellent
I'm all
stuff.
For that.
We did a trailer review for it. We're looking forward to it still. Dead Snow 2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. In that trailer review, I think I did say that I hadn't seen the first one. On my word, I did go back and watch the first one. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It was slightly different to what I expected it to be. And number 2 just looks even more wacky, out there, goresome, and great. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that.
I think we did get a retweet from, I forgot the chap's name again, the big bald guy.
Oh yeah.
The guy who was in Hatchet.
Yeah, that's right.
3
yeah.
And, everyone's name I've forgotten. I really should do more thorough notes.
Did he play Jason Voorhees or something?
He did.
He did in the Friday the 13th remake. Yeah.
Excellent. We mention it quite a lot, and here's a little fun fact for you. We almost entered a video into the ABCs of Death 2 competition. They did an open kind of thing, didn't they? And everybody could send in their videos for M is for whatever. Do we want to give away our idea and kind of have it as a little kind of add-on that we never really got to film? I think we had a fairly good idea.
We had a few ideas, and I think we settled on M is for mop.
Yeah,
which
sounds a bit stupid, but I think we kind of took it as a silly idea and evolved it into a more serious idea.
Yeah, because originally my original idea was going to be it was the same kind of idea, a guy who cleans up after, say, hitmen or something, but his mop has soaked up so much blood that it becomes possessed, and I was going to do a guy with a possessed mop, and then kind of changed it into something else a little bit more sensible.
Yeah, well, our concept was it was going to be, there was a janitor outside with a mop, and he was just going to be kind of waiting for these people to do their business inside the room. It was going to be like a one-shot thing, wasn't it? We weren't going to have any cuts or anything, but a slow kind of pan in, and then you've got two guys in there, and you're wondering, what are these up to? And then they bring out a guy who's in a chair of some sort, maybe with wheels on it, and he's tied up, and you're like, okay, there's something happening here. Then you're kind of wondering what's going on. They go and get some weapons and start kind of beating the crap out of it. So it's more kind of a less of a visual kind of thing, but more of getting you to think about what's happening.
Slightly,
you see one go and grab
psychological way of doing it rather than full on, because we wouldn't have to budget all the means.
Yeah, exactly. And you'd have one guy. I think we originally was going to have like one of our friends as the guy getting murdered. You were going to be the janitor standing there with a mop, weren't you? And then it was going to be myself and Joe as kind of gangstery thug hitman type thing, And imagine it as a doorway, and that's your shot. So anything outside of the doorway, you kind of have to make up for yourself. And then you see, my character or Joe's character kind of go off screen, bring back another instrument, and you think, oh, all right, he's got a hammer now, isn't he? And the guy's more kind of an imaginary.
It would be a little visual, you'd see like a blood or a limb coming
it was good, yeah.
I like them sort of shots though sometimes, where you don't see it. More in your imagination, That's cool.
Yeah, I think that happened a lot with the original Texas Chainsaw, because you sort of think back on it and go, yeah, that was this really bloody, violent film, and then you watch it again and go, yeah, there's hardly any blood in this at all.
Really?
I just remember it being more because of the psychological thing, but...
Yeah, sort of like Psycho. I know you do get to see some of the penetration of the knife, but it's more just what you think in your head, It's cool,
Yeah, sometimes the payoff isn't as good as what you've come up with in your head. So, if we'd have gone for it and gone, right, yeah, we're going to have this guy, he's going to take a hammer, he's going to put it in this guy's skull, and then we get a really crap, watermelon and put a wig on it, and it looks really crap. It's a bit like, well, maybe we should have just not shown it, and then just have, maybe a shot of, the person doing it, and then blood splattering in his face, and you create that visual in your mind of, oh, that guy's just had his head caved in.
As much as I love gore and blood and guts in the movie, nothing's going to take you out of a movie quicker than a really crap special effect.
Yeah, exactly, and it's that kind of thing. And I think if we'd have got to do it, it would have been a nice thing to enter. Whether we'd have got anywhere, I don't know. I can't remember who won or whether they've announced it yet, have they?
I don't know. No, do you know what? I haven't looked lately.
Yeah, but we've done a couple of reviews lately where the directors have put their short in for
the guys behind Big Bad Wolves.
Yeah, they've done one, and we were always mentioning ones. There was a guy.
I think it's because we were just such big fans of the first film, so we've done it really more or less. There's that odd one that. Was terrible,
but as a whole, I don't think it was going to hit 100%, wasn't it? I'm not expecting ABC's Death 2 to hit 100% because there's going to be a few odd ones, a few artistic ones where you're going to be like, M is for miscarriage. What was that all about?
Although. Oh God, this is going to make me sound bad again as soon as I kept saying necrophiliac earlier. As much as I like Deers for Dogfight, if I had to put an equal favourite, it would be Ellis for Libido, which is probably the most messed up one on there.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm a fan of that guy's work, watching some of his other stuff. It's like, yeah, this guy knows what he's doing. And I've really enjoyed it, even though it was really fucked up for people that aren't used to the slightly darker side and the more twisted horror films out there. That would probably be as a shock to them, but... I thought it was a really well done piece. Yeah,
doing a 180 and going from sort of horror movies. Quite a few superhero movies coming out this year. 2014 looks like a good year for, I'm going to say Marvel, because I don't think there's any DC ones coming out, is there?
When's the Superman?
Batman? 2015, I believe. They're waiting till next year to do that. So this year, in about a month's time, we've got... Captain America, The Winter Soldier. Then I believe in May we've got Amazing Spider-Man 2. Then shortly after that, X-Men Days of Future Past.
Yep. And
then if my memory serves me, we've got Guardians of the Galaxy in August.
Although I'm like, you really need to put some trailers out now for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, it's the most sort of unknown Marvel film. Everybody knows Spider-Man, the X-Men, and everyone knows Captain America now because he's had his own movie, but nobody seems to know about Guardians of the Galaxy. So
there was a little bit of footage that did get leaked out that showed Rocket Raccoon. I think if I remember right, he's being carried on the back of Groot, which is a tree monster, and he's firing off a few shots. And even though it was a grainy bit of footage, just that alone was like, yeah, this is going to be awesome. Yeah. Although again, I'm not that familiar with the characters from that either, outside of playing as them in the Marvel Lego video game.
Yeah,
thing,
I'm not familiar with it, but I know that it's going to fit in with the Marvel universe, so I'm not going to miss it because obviously, like Phase 1 of the Marvel universe was fantastic. You know, with the Iron Man movies, Captain America, Thor, Incredible Hulk, and then obviously with the Avengers movie, they made it into a whole kind of thing that you wait to kind of see. And I think there's one movie to come after those we mentioned before the next Avengers, and I believe that is Ant-Man.
Or
am I missed?
No, that is before.
Is that
Avengers,
coming the one before Avengers 2?
Yeah,
Don't
I'm sure.
quote
Yeah,
me on that one.
that is coming out before Age of Ultron. I'm sure it is.
Yeah, don't quote me on that one.
But I like how they seem to have planned so far in advance, because that little snippet at the end of Avengers with the one that we want to look up online to go, who the hell was that purple face guy with Thanos? And it looks like he's not actually going to be anything to do with it until the third Avengers film.
Yeah.
So I like how they've kind of had this little inkling of something and going, yeah, they're so forward thinking with like that far in advance.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They've put in the time, they've put in the effort, and they've gone, right, here's a plan, let's stick to it. They haven't just gone, right, a couple of Iron Man movies, and probably, I don't know, Hulk or whatever. Thor, should we give him a movie? Nah, he's not an important character. They've actually put in the time. They've gone, well, Thor is a part of this universe. We can't just go, here's an Avengers movie. Who's this guy coming down from the sky with a big hammer? Oh, it's Thor, was it? Gore? What. They've made an effort to go, here's your own movie. Let's establish your character, what you're about, what do you do, what's your special power, you got a big hammer. And, and they're putting the time, whereas DC, on the flip side, they seem to be trying to do the same thing, which I can't knock them for doing it, because why wouldn't you do your own universe building up to a Justice League? But I don't think they're putting the time to build up characters, like Wonder Woman and the Green Lantern.
Say they couldn't do a faithful Wonder Woman film or something because it wouldn't be believable, and then Marvel have gone, yeah, we got a talking raccoon and a tree monster. Go fuck yourselves, look what we're doing.
Yeah, I know.
But this fame would save characters.
Yeah.
It's like, it's Batman and Superman again.
No, Batman and Superman can sell, and they're going to put Wonder Woman in as a sort of secondary character, aren't they? It's like, why not just commit? People are going to buy into the movie.
Well, apparently, going back to the Lego movie, that was Wonder Woman's first movie appearance.
Oh, really?
There's a Lego Wonder Woman in there.
Blimey, that's sad, isn't it?
Yeah, I read that today, actually.
I always hear people talk about it, they go, but they give Thor his own movie. Yeah. Why can't they give Wonder Woman and a decent Green Lantern movie?
Well, if I'm going to vote for a DC character, it'd be Lobo.
Explain.
He's a bounty hunter. He's technically unkillable. He made a deal with God. He killed off everyone on his home planet. He was born. They were all peaceful, and he was a violent little bastard. And he wanted to be unique, so he killed off everyone on his home planet, so he could be one of a kind.
Ah, okay.
He's like the Punisher in a way, like that anti-hero. He's a complete bastard, but you root for him. And he's one of my favourite DC characters. And you're kind of like, we'll ignore him.
Yeah, but will he fit in the whole kind of Justice League universe, or
he's gone toe to toe with Superman before now, so he's tied into it before. So.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Superman, I know it's kind of old news, but quick thoughts on Jesse Eisenberg as what's his face?
Oh, Lex Luthor.
That's the one. Yeah.
I'm not seeing it in my head.
Yeah, I'm a bit like, are they going to shave him?
Especially when everyone was going on about Bryan Cranston would be great for that role, so I kept visualising Bryan Cranston. So they've gone Jesse Eisenberg, like, wow, that's really different.
Yeah, but then you look at Superman Returns, I think it was, and then you've got like Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor. You're like, I can't imagine him bald, and it's like, hey, it don't look too bad.
But that wasn't that good a film, so.
I've not seen it. I've heard good and bad.
Who do we know who's bald?
Yeah.
I'd willingly shave my beard.
Who do we know who's bald and a complete bastard? Joe, you willing to shave your
Take a hit for the team.
Right. Joe, have you got any movies that you might be looking forward to come this year? That was really oddly phrased. As I was scrolling through my iPad to get notes, just saying words. Come this year.
Not.
Yeah, I don't mean to put you on the spot. It's a kind of.
And Joe panics and runs from the room.
Yeah. Where you going, Joe? Making your tea. Good old boy.
Yeah, that's it.
Sean is also Joe standing.
Come back, Joe.
I presume you're looking forward to ABCs of Death as well, are you?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Like what you said earlier, yeah. I like the first one, so I can't wait to see this one and see what they do. And hopefully it's as good as the first one, but we will see. It'd be a lot better if our
If we got off our asses.
If we could be bothered to do it. Later.
But no.
I must admit, I'm struggling to think. I've got a few on my notes.
Yeah, we've kind of named everything. I'm just going to kind of go over what we have mentioned, and I'm going to go with X-Men: Days of Future Past because I'm a bit of an X-Men kind of fanboy, and I quite like Michael Fassbender as Magneto, and I like James McAvoy as Professor X, and then they're going to kind of conjoin that with Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart, and just having like that many versions and the old ones. It's just amazing that they've managed to get 2 casts from 2 movies and put them all together and schedule them around.
That's the bit that's got
if
me
anything,
intrigued,
it's just a feat of just scheduling. It's just
although unfortunately, because I think they've announced that the 3rd one is now going to be X-Men Apocalypse.
Yeah,
I'm kind of almost more excited about that because are they going to bring Apocalypse into this one?
Yeah.
We're going to have this like super powerful, the world's first ever mutant. Threatens everything.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm really intrigued by that now. But the whole mixing the old and the new with Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen, getting in with everyone else. I like that idea.
I just hope it's not too messy, because those kind of movies can tend to be a little bit messy if people aren't really sure what's going on. Kind of time travel movies or like flashback movies. I admit it, I get quite confused by flashback movies. Watchmen, and
I have to have this argument at work because a guy from IT, right, Damo, he swears that Transformers is a better film than Watchmen.
Really?
oh,
And I get
don't know if we can
so-
say that.
Watchmen.
Which Transformers?
The first one.
I thought you were going to say the
I'll admit-
80s cartoon
God,
one.
yeah.
That's a better movie than Watchmen.
Yeah. Oh, no.
With a
Watchmen's
cheesy
cracking movie.
J-pop soundtrack.
Well, I drew that off topic, didn't I? What was the point?
X-Men or something.
X-Men,
or movies.
Yeah.
I think we're talking about movies.
You did mention Spider-Man 2.
We did, yeah. We
But-
briefly went over that. We can kind of go into it. They've released about 15 trailers that are about 20 minutes long each. They've pretty much released the whole movie. I'm over-exaggerating, obviously. I think they've released about 3 trailers, and they're all 3 to 4 minutes long.
But I didn't realise until today that Green Goblin's going to be in it. I've seen
Yeah.
a Mini-Mates action figure of him.
Yeah.
He's just in a green and black outfit with a slightly frazzled face. So I'm not quite...
Yeah, well, Dane
He's not looking like Green
DeHaan's
Goblin,
going to be
isn't it?
playing Harry
I
Osborn.
can't think who he is. Who's...
Who's the guy in Chronicle? The main
right, yeah,
sort
yeah.
of guy in Chronicle. I can't
See,
remember
that
what
was a
else.
surprisingly good film.
Yeah, so... Yeah, he's going to be in that. They've got, like, how many bad guys? 3
That's
bad
the thing that
guys?
concerns me, because 3 bad guys. What happens last time there was 3 bad guys? Spider-Man 3. No.
I think I've literally put that movie out of my mind. Who was in that? Oh, Venom, Sandman, was it?
Sandman. And the other Goblin, James Franco's.
Yeah.
Oh, Hobgoblin.
Hobgoblin, that was it. And it didn't work.
Yeah.
Too much.
I remember
Well, that
watching...
was a case of listening to the fans, because Sam Raimi wanted to do Sandman, and the fans were like, we want to see Venom. So you're like,
Yeah.
I'll give in to the fans. You're like, never give in to the fans.
We don't know shit!
Because it's the same as me raging on about remakes, because you get loads of people going, no, you need to do this. And when
Yeah.
you've done it, and that director didn't want to do it,
Yeah.
it doesn't have that heart.
Well, I
and soul
quite
to
like
it,
the
and-
fact that he's kind of bringing back a few villains what were in the movies, and bringing back a few new ones. Like in Amazing Spider-Man 1, they had Kurt Connors, aka the Lizard, which I've always wanted to see in a movie, and I thought that was really cool.
The casting seems quite unusual as well, to have... I forgot the guy's name again, who played Rhino, who was in...
Oh,
obviously-
Paul Giamatti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, you wouldn't normally put him in your head as being Rhino.
But I think
So
the
that's-
fact that they're kind of putting him in a big tech mech suit
Yeah.
is a bit like, I suppose anybody could play the Rhino, but when I
It's
think
kind
of
of-
Rhino from the cartoon, you just think of a massive guy, in a Rhino suit, and it's like, who could play that?
I think they kind of mixed it in with the Ultimate Marvel Universe, where they kind of redone all the characters in a modern setting, and I think that Rhino and that was like a little guy in a big mech suit rather than a guy in a weird Rhino costume.
Yeah, but on the flip side, you've got plausibility in the Rhino, and then you've got Electro, who's just some sort of like massive electric eel going around, flying about, and he's blue, and it's like, you going for realism or surrealism? Which I can dig, but it's like, pick a side, man, pick a side.
Yeah, it's just that, is it going to be overkill with 3 villains in it?
It could be, yeah. And I think they're kind of playing on the whole, from what I've seen from the trailer, it's like Jamie Foxx is a little nerdy kid, which kind of reminds me of Iron Man 3, and then he gets sort of shunned by Spider-Man, Iron Man 3, and turns into a massive supervillain, Iron Man 3. But then again, you've got,
But I don't think
Green
the actor
Goblin.
was the right choice for Peter Parker. He
Do you not
didn't
think?
He didn't have that kind of uncomfortable, bumbling nerdiness that made him... It's like, he's a fairly good-looking kid. He seems like a popular guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that quite unsociable, not he's unsociable, but that slight misfit kind of thing to him. You kind of look at him and go, why don't people like him? I don't quite get that.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from, but I quite liked Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. I thought he was a good choice. Maybe even better than, what's his face, Tobey Maguire.
Maguire, yeah.
But I think he did that bumbling thing, but maybe it was more put on, because he was very sort of stuttery. Yeah. But...
And don't get me started on the whole moving the cranes so Spider-Man can swing from the cranes.
I didn't have a problem with that. I thought that was quite fun. It was very sort of like, yeah, go Spider-Man moment.
Then again, I didn't like
think
that,
it needed it.
but I love the cat's cradle thing in Pacific Rim, which a
Yeah.
lot of people hated. And I thought, no, it's cool.
Oh, the
I like
Newton's
that.
Cradle.
Newton's cradle, sorry.
Yeah.
Cat's cradle.
Cat's Cradle.
String on their hands. Yeah. Halfway through the fight, the
We're
Jaegers got
cancelling
some
the
string.
apocalypse and doing a cat's cradle.
Because the Jaegers ripped a cable off the San Francisco Bridge to make a cat's cradle.
Or the,
Yeah, the Newton's cradle.
the Saturday night walk, what he does through the turn, Tobey Maguire.
Oh, that was awful. Yeah.
So yeah, 3 villains in Amazing Spider-Man 2. Will it work? I hope so. I just hope it's not, like you say, confusing and a bit of a crap fest. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm just a massive mark for Marvel movies, and I can't wait to see all of them.
I know I did forget though, I just looked at the notes regarding going back to Guardians of the Galaxy that Bradley Cooper is apparently going to voice Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah.
And mumbly Vin Diesel is going to do Groot.
But he doesn't really speak. Does he Groot? Or does he
I think
sort
he
of
just
go,
grunts. I think I'm not entirely sure. Like I said, I'm not
Perfect guy for it. You could have Vin
I'm
Diesel,
sure-
Stallone,
Vin
or
Diesel.
yeah.
I'm sure Rocket Raccoon had a Scottish accent. I don't know.
I'm not
I'm
sure.
not
Well,
super
can you
familiar
tell
with-
from a comic book?
Yeah.
What did you say, Rocket? Oh, hello.
I said, okay, man.
And going back to the very beginning of our conversation, in the Lego movie, the main guy, Emmett, is voiced by Chris Pratt, who's playing one of the guys in Guardians of the Galaxy, which I haven't got my notes in front of me and I can't remember the guy's name, which is very unprofessional of me.
Shall we switch to a different film then?
We can either switch or we can end. It's up to you.
I've got one more.
Right, one more. We're
Because
getting low on battery. And
We was all disappointed by The Purge.
Yes.
Great premise. Ruined it with a home invasion movie.
Excellent premise. I always say that to people. People say, "Oh, The Purge, was it any good?" And I say, "Yeah, if you take the premise of the movie, excellent. It's basically a crappy home invasion movie." But yeah, number 2.
There's now a trailer out for Purge 2, which I watched before I came here today, and it's now going to be called The Purge Anarchy.
Do you think they listened to us? Do you think they went?
Not quite.
No.
They've done the opposite of what they did with the first movie. It's 2 people that are trying to get home, I think, just before the Purge starts, and randomly the car breaks down. They can't start the car because, you know,
Got no
it
phones.
happens.
Oh.
Yeah. And then the Purge starts, so they're then trying to escape through the city. Just sort of think the Warriors, but with 2 people trying to get through the city
Right.
instead of... And I'd rather see it from the point of view of the people that are taking part in the Purge. I want to see, you know, the people that have flown it, you know, like they did with Hostel 2. I know you're not a fan of Eli Roth, but...
Yeah, I know.
Joe knows what I mean, but it was done from the point of view of the guys that were going there specifically to take part in the killing.
Yeah.
I'd rather see
nice
that.
twist, yeah.
Yeah, like the angry school teacher that's like decided, fuck this, I'm going to go out and I'm going to kill these students that have pissed me off, or the normal everyday guy who's gone, you know what, now I've got this one opportunity, I'm going to go out and be a bastard, or people that have flown into the country.
But at least,
I'd rather see their
judging by what you've said, they've at least left the house. Whereas the last
Yeah,
one,
yeah,
it was
yeah.
just like, wow, we've got this really cool premise, but we're going to keep it in this one house.
It didn't even need that premise. It was just
Granted, you know, it's one of those movies that sort of, I guess it's a cheap movie to make, but a movie that's going to make money. You know, they probably spent more on press releases for the movie than they did actually making it. You know, they put a couple of people in a house and went, yeah, have at it. You know, and then just went, we'll spend $30 million, like, you know, doing all the press and stuff, and people will go and watch it because it was a cheap movie to make. Maybe they've gone, right, okay, that made a bit of money. Maybe we can expand and, you know, we'll take a step outside this time.
it seems weird that they had that amazing premise and then went, nah.
Yeah, it's very sad, yeah. But, yeah. Maybe number 2 will rectify things. I need to look at the trailer. I haven't actually watched it. I did see it came up on my feed and I was a bit like, I don't know.
Yeah, I was in 2 months and thought, I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt and have a little look, but yeah, it's the Warriors, but with a couple trying to get home instead of this awesome gang, but I don't know.
I'll be remaking that soon, I don't know.
Shh, give them ideas, Joe.
Just to finish things off here on the first ever ChapterSkip podcast, we're talking about The Purge. How about you run us through your perfect version? If you had control over the script of The Purge, how would you do it, Mark? How do you reckon?
As I said, I'd follow multiple storylines of various people going through what they would do, normal everyday folk, who then decide we're going to let loose on this
Would you
one
have it
day.
from both sides of the purge, or just people taking part, as in like?
I'd rather see it from the people taking part. Do it as more of a to see a little bit beforehand, so you see them as a normal average guy. You wouldn't think, or woman. I shouldn't be sexist about this.
Yeah.
Just like how would this person, they wouldn't seem like a killer, and then when that time comes, they're out there in a completely different personality.
Okay, how about this as an idea? Take your premise and then add it with the premise that they've got now. Maybe you could have a story about, like you say, two people have broken down and they want to find their way back, and they intertwine with somebody who they're following who is like a normal everyday person, a mechanic or a shop person or a teacher or whatever, and they kind of come into contact. Maybe that could be quite a cool little thing, as they've got separate stories, but then in the end, there's little things that kind of come in. You're like, oh, that person's been there, or they're related in this kind of way.
I'd rather see more characters' stories open, just like with Battle Royale, for example, where you've got so many different characters, but you get to know a little bit about. You get to see what all these different characters are doing.
Yeah.
I suppose with the, like you said, with the main two characters that are trapped in the city. So I suppose you're following the main two, but then follow all these different groups that are out there. I want to know why they're doing what they're doing, not just we're nutters.
But I think you might get dangerous territory there.
Yeah, doing too much.
Yeah, doing too much, like you say, with the
Purge
Spider-Man movie.
would have made a great series, a mini-series.
Yeah,
That would have been
definitely,
perfect.
Yeah, like AMC's The Purge.
That would have been good, actually, thinking about it. Yeah.
Right, okay, so...
Do we have a plan what we're going to be recording next? Should we give everyone a little sneak preview
Well...
before the battery runs out?
Yeah, I don't know if we've actually definitely confirmed this, but I guess if we say it, we should probably do it. We did a trailer review for a Chinese movie called Rigor Mortis, which is one of our most popular trailer reviews. We did it quite a while ago, actually. I went back and rewatched it, and I was thinking, wow, we're in the shed, and... we all look a little bit different. Mark's got less hair on his chin and whatnot. And Rigor Mortis is a definite contender.
Major possibility, but I guess we've got RoboCop and Lego.
We have, but I've kind of given my thoughts on the Lego movie, so maybe we can kind of go over that. People, if they want to hear it, they can come back and listen to this.
But I've not seen it yet. They might want to hear what I think.
They might.
And my daughter.
Yeah, they might. They might. They might not. But Rigor Mortis. I think we probably should do it because I've already watched it.
Yeah.
And I've written my review about it, and I think
I've written my notes. I haven't.
I think you'll be interested in hearing what I have to say.
All right, okay.
I'm not going to give anything away. I've got a few skit ideas as well, which is always fun in coming up with our reviews.
I've got three in there, and one's quite complicated. Can I give a little bit away what my idea was?
If you want to,
You know how the film opens?
indulge.
Remember the opening shot of the film? Where it happened, it's at the end of the story and it's panning
no,
across.
Okay,
I was doing that.
Right.
That,
okay.
But we'd have to obviously have a black frame in there somewhere because someone's going to have to operate the camera to show two people laying on the floor to then put a black frame in so we can switch someone else on the camera to show the third.
Right. Okay.
There's a few things directly from the film. I was like, I can copy that, but I haven't typed it all up yet to then email it to you. And all that,
I've written my review. A few weeks ago, and it was a bit like, I'm sure I had an idea, but I'm going to have to refer back to it.
See, I was late writing it because I knew you were going away to Berlin. I knew you were going away, so I was like, I'll watch it this week, thinking, I've got loads of time. And I've watched it, I've written my notes, and I've written the first paragraph of the review and done nothing else.
I've written my thoughts down and stuff, so done my homework.
You're done, it's me that's got to catch up then. I will get it done, that's it, I've done it.
Yeah, I guess we should just do a little sign out. So, on behalf of me, Sean, I just want to say thanks for listening to our ramblings. If you've enjoyed it, subscribe, like, favourite, share, or leave a little comment below telling us if you think this is a good idea, because this is the first time we've done it. We've played around with the idea quite a few times before because it's a lot easier to sit and ramble on about movies rather than do skits. But we do enjoy doing the skits and the actual reviews. But if you like this format more, let us know. Pop a comment below. And if we want to make it a regular feature, we might do that as a trailer reviews on Wednesday, movie reviews on Saturday, and then maybe Monday morning ramblings or something like that. Yeah, it could be an option.
And maybe at some point there was a chap, and I'm sorry I forgot the user's name, that suggested about us going back and doing an older film. I know he suggested Martyrs, which yeah, the film's awesome. But
I mean, we could do it in this format, you know. I don't know whether you wanted our take on the skits or something like that, whether that's the thing that they want to watch. I'm not sure.
Maybe we could put it out there for people to like. If we get enough requests for a certain film, then by all means we'll go back and
give us
give it a little talk. Especially if they happen to pick something we've never seen before, that'd be more because we've all. I think we've all seen Martyrs.
I've not. No.
Yeah, no, great film.
Yeah, that'd be quite an interesting.
Yeah.
So we go.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you.